that was fucking horrendous. Yes, I am talking about Liverpool 4, Chelsea 1. It was a match that I was fairly confident going into. It was a match that I believe we could get a result in. Key players for Liverpool were out. Mo Salah we knew wouldn't be in there at all when I looked at the lineup and saw they had this 20-year-old kid at right back instead of Trent, who's been one of their key players. I gained even more confidence when I looked at maybe the emotional come down from the first match being back at Anfield against Norwich when Jurgen Klopp had obviously announced his retirement, and thinking, okay, maybe that was such an occasion that Chelsea could potentially upset the apple cart a little bit in this one. Could we do it? Couldn't we? Well, we obviously couldn't because we didn't. It wasn't a good day at the office for Chelsea Football Club tonight. But let's speak about the game and let's see where it went wrong, and let's question if there are any improvements that we can go on after that thrashing at the hands of Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. It's going to be a long video, isn't it? But people, before we get into it, please do me a massive favour. If you are not already, subscribe to the channel if you like the content and you want to see more from myself. Also, we have got very little in the way of good news in this video, so please do one thing to show me your appreciation and smash that like button right now. I know it's weird. You don't really want to hit like on a video after your team have just been battered, but just trust me. Please do it for me. Let's get into it. Right, so you can see the lineup on screen now that Mauricio Pochettino opted for. Petrovic in goal, Disasi over at right back, Silva and Badia Schill. Making up that back line was Ben Chilwell on the left-hand side, and that's pretty much the lineup that I would have opted for. I think I said that I would have liked to have seen Malo Gusto in there from the start, but that was just where I was trying to go as strong as possible. I almost had a little bit of FIFA or Football Manager's hat on when I was making that lineup, because I understood that potentially Malo Gusto wasn't going to be able to be in there from the beginning. And if he was in there from the beginning, maybe we would have seen something different, because when he did come on, he was able to incentivize us a little bit, to spark a little bit of creativity in that backline, which we didn't have earlier on in the match, but we will get into that. Obviously, Enzo and Caicedo in the midfield. Gallagher in the 10, he was sort of pushing high with Cole Palmer playing in that false 9. Also, Sterling and Madueke on the wings. Oh, didn't see you there. Sorry. Just using my Lawnmower 5.0 from Manscaped, who ironically, what are the chances, are the sponsors of this video. It is a new year, and that somewhat does mean a new me, or a well-groomed version of myself, and the people helping me do that are obviously the best in the business is Manscaped. So when you eventually, inevitably put your next Manscaped order in, which I know you will because you're all smart, make sure you use the discount code Joey Knight, all in capitals, so that you can receive 20% discount. But why am I using Manscaped this year and ahead of my fight on January the 20th? Well, mostly because of this little beauty. This is the MVP of 2024, the Manscaped 5th generation lawnmower. It's not just a trimmer, it is your grooming sidekick. Equipped with 2 skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. And I bet I forgot to mention that this is in fact waterproof, meaning you can use it in the shower. But I know what you're thinking now. You don't just want the lawnmower, you want the full grooming experience. Well, why not check this out? The Performance Package 5.0. And in the Performance Package 5.0, as well as the trusted lawnmower, you're also going to receive the Manscaped ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Soothable aftershave lotion, and the Crop Preserver anti-chafing ball deodorant. Yes, it is deodorant for your balls, and I bet you didn't think you needed that. Now, I don't need to convince you any further, do I? Make sure you are fresh for the new year by heading over to Manscaped, purchasing your items, and at the checkout, using my discount code, which is Joey Knight, all capital letters, and all you need to do is put that in to receive your 20% discount. Let's get into the video. Now, let's just be honest here and give props where it's deserved, because I don't want to come across as sounding bitter as this video goes on, but you will hear my opinions on the officiating from today's game. But starting off, Liverpool were just much better than us. Liverpool were way more dominant in possession than us. They were getting to the ball quicker. Every time we broke away with one man, it feels like Liverpool had 2 pressing us straight away. They were forcing mistakes out of us, way too casual, way too nonchalant on the ball a lot of the time, Chelsea. And it's been a story of our season so far. We think we've got a bit more time in the ball, on the ball, I should say, or it's not that we think it, we just don't have any creative ideas of what to do when we're on the ball. sometimes in games like this, you really see a lack of patterns of play, and then you're looking at individual talent, and individual talent can pull you out of games sometimes when you've got the experience to ride alongside it, and obviously Chelsea haven't got that at this moment in time. But the game could have been very different, because I do believe that Chelsea should have had a penalty in the first half. Virgil van Dijk got away with one. He fouled Conor Gallagher. It should have been a penalty. And at half-time, although Liverpool were going in 2-0, Darwin Núñez had broke the record of having the most, I think, shots on goal in one match. I think he had done it by half-time. He hit the woodwork about fucking 4 times or something, Núñez. But yeah, going in at half-time, I was looking at the score and I was thinking, right, 2-0, that ain't great. That really is not great. However, it's not beyond salvageable. But is salvageable a word? Don't know, I've used it now. It's not beyond it. It's not beyond us coming back in this game, because I did look, obviously, the spirited performances we've showed so far this season against the bigger sides, obviously Liverpool being one of them on the opening day, Arsenal, Man City, and I sort of thought, right, okay, if we can get one back, and I then looked at our bench and thought maybe some of these players weren't fit enough to start, but there is definitely some work to do here, and we could bring guys off the bench that could be match changers. Mauricio Pochettino clearly thought the same, because he made 3 subs at half-time, which is an unusual move, but a move I was in favour for, because played a little bit better in the second half, conceded the same amount of goals. But Joe Cole, good friend of mine, Joe Cole, he had some words on TNT at halftime, and he basically said that Paul Tierney, the referee, had bottled the key moments in the game to that point. And I would agree so. He was giving everything Liverpool's way. He was very much taken in by the Anfield crowd, and he had a bit of a stinker today. But all that being said, would we have won the game if the officiating was any different? No, probably not. So, you know, you live and let be, I suppose. But Tierney's refereeing ability, or lack thereof ability, was called into question once again in the second half, because Virgil van Dijk does it again. He gives away another clear and obvious penalty, in my opinion, and we don't get the penalty. This time, he comes through the back of Nkunku. You just knew it as a penalty when you saw it in real time, when you see Nkunku stand down. Part of me is thinking, oh, for God's sake, he's not injured again, is he? And part of me is thinking, well, he knows that he might as well stay down, because they're going to VAR check it. And then the game's going on and we're seeing it, and it's like, okay, yeah, cool. They're going to pull that back when the phase of play stops. They're going to give a penalty there because Virgil van Dijk's gone for the back of Nkunku. They don't give a penalty. Again, we're what, 2-0 down at that point, so it's not going to change all that much. Then Connor Bradley, the young man for Liverpool who scored the second goal, got to give him some props, man. He ran riots there. He's really, really good. When I looked at the team sheet and I saw him on there instead of Trent Alexander-Arnold, as I said, I gained confidence in it. But that confidence was false confidence, because Connor Bradley absolutely took the game by the scruff of the neck. Obviously, he scored the first one. He then set up Szoboszlai for a header. And yeah, it just wasn't looking good for us at all. Chelsea 3-0 down. Then Nkunku gives us a glimpse of something we could potentially be optimistic about going forward, because he wriggles the ball out of his feet. Really cool left-footed finish into the bottom corner. And when we see how Nkunku played when he came off the bench against Newcastle in the League Cup, I was at that game. He played really well, drifting into good positions, getting good chances. Could have had a goal in that match. Against Wolves, he sort of makes a goal out of nothing, shows a different type of goal today, wriggling out of a tight space and drilling one home. Obviously, the one against Wolves was a header. And Nkunku's giving me some sort of optimism that if we can keep him fit and keep him on the pitch, maybe he can score some goals for us. And let's be honest, right? If we had a fully fit starting 11 in a game like today, we still probably would have lost. But we would have done a little bit better, you know. If we had Nkunku in there, Reece James, but, you know, Marty had a set of bollocks, should be my uncle. So it doesn't really matter. The main thing for us, a lot of our key names were just off it today. Weren't really playing well at all. Mudryk didn't do anything once he came on. Sterling hardly did anything the whole match. And Nkunku will probably be fuming at Sterling and the changing rooms, because there was 1, 2, maybe 3 times when Sterling needed to release the ball quicker to put Nkunku in. Then Nkunku could have been in a threatening position and poison opportunity at goal, but Sterling didn't get the ball out of his feet quick enough. And it was quite easy to see where we are at the moment in comparison to where Liverpool are, because you could see patterns of play. You could see understanding. When they would switch the ball, it would be tactical, and there would be some sort of reasoning behind what they're doing. Whereas with Chelsea, it just looked like we were hoping for an opportunity to fall in our lap. And apart from, Nkunku making something out of nothing and a few other chances, it's just not going to happen. Melo Gusto, he created a good chance for Mudryk in that second half. Mudryk fluffs his lines again. I got stick in the comments for saying Mudryk hasn't done enough. And they said, how do you expect him to have out a run of games? Listen, if you take away the price tag, if you bring a guy in and he performs to the standard that Mudryk has so far, albeit showing moments of brilliance, little glimpses every now and again, why are you going to give him a run of games? if you take away the price tag, because he hasn't done enough to command a run of games. So ultimately, look, finishes 4-1. Liverpool push on now. If they win against Arsenal on Sunday, I think they've got to be heavy favourites for this league title. It's going to be out of them and Man City if they beat Arsenal on Sunday. So let's see how that one goes. That is a game that we will be live on the kickoff for. Very, very happy and looking forward to be back in the studio recording the kickoff with Brian, Josh and the boys. Who can walk away from today's game with their head held high? Petrovic conceded 4 goals, but still had a good showing for me. Wasn't at fault for any of the 4 goals, was he? And it could have been 6 or 7 without Petrovic in there. Malo Gusto, he played one half, did well when he came on. And Nkunku did well when he came on. Cole Palmer, he had one of his more underwhelming games today. Gave away the ball quite a lot. Sterling didn't really play well. Madueke didn't really do much. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Do you know what? It makes me beg the question, do we play better football now than we did on the opening day against Liverpool? Having had, 6 months of Pochettino to be able to develop this team, hopefully put his stomp on this team, a bit of an ingrained blueprint on this team. Do we play any better football? I don't know if the football I saw today was better than the opening day of the season. I don't know if it looked like the personnel I saw today had more understanding than they did on the opening day of the season. When you look at Pochettino's record in management, it doesn't usually happen in the space of 6 months. Usually Pochettino's record in management would suggest to you that it's going to take him a little while to be able to really implement his tactics. It's always the second season he gets better. Southampton, he finishes higher in the second season than he did in the first. The same with Spurs, the same with PSG. So maybe I'm at risk of not being patient enough, and we need to be more patient here. But nah, it doesn't look like we've got any better. But there are underlying factors, aren't they? Because you've got half your team out injured. There was only 6 players that played today that played in that game on the opening day of the season. So obviously pretty much half the team weren't there. Caicedo hadn't even played for Chelsea on the opening day of the season. Neither had Nkunku. We've got key names like Reece James, the club captain, who is still out. And also, you would have to say that on the opening day of the season, Liverpool hadn't hit the ground running at that point. Now, I backed Liverpool to be City's closest challengers before a ball was kicked. But it's not to say I'm Nostradamus or anything if it does happen. But a lot of people weren't at that time. We didn't really know what we were going to get from Liverpool. We didn't know how quickly their midfield would be able to bed and settle in. And they've just shown that they've been able to a lot quicker than us. And even all that being said, they got better personnel than us. Caicedo, he came under a lot of stick tonight from Liverpool fans, but they won 4-1. It was what it was. Not a great game, not a great showing for Chelsea tonight. Gutted for us, really, because obviously Brighton lost last night. I think that Man United are going to struggle against Wolves tomorrow night. I could be wrong, but I just got a feeling they could, and we could have gone up to, at least bumped up above Brighton and above Man United. But some things aren't meant to be, unfortunately. We will dust ourselves off. We will go again. We have got enough talent in there for me to be able to look at it and go, right, we could still be there or thereabouts when we're pushing for Europa League spots. I don't think that's that damning that we lost today. It will be if we don't go and beat Wolves, who obviously, we play next, and they'll have Man United Thursday, Chelsea on Sunday, so they've got a tough little run of fixtures. But it's not all doom and gloom. I do look at teams in the league this season and I think, well, Liverpool did Aston Villa, 3-0? They beat them by a 3-goal margin. Look how good Villa are doing this season. It can happen. It really can happen. I'm not questioning Mauricio Pochettino anymore. What I am a little bit scared of now is, what does that mean for this League Cup final? Because you look at the way that Liverpool dealt with us tonight, man. They dealt with us with ease. And that League Cup final, it's not that far away. We just got to see. We just got to really see. Wait and see what happens. People, I am in the studio with Josh Aveste tomorrow. So if you want Josh's opinion on this game, if you want us to break it down in a little bit more detail, let me know. I only wanted to give you something quick tonight, but I don't think I will break it down in all that much detail because it's shit. Let's preview the Wolves match and let's speak about a few other little bits and pieces. Maybe the debate is there to be had. Have Chelsea improved since the opening day of the season? Do you want me and Josh to do an in-depth 25-minute piece about whether Chelsea have improved and where are the areas we have improved in? Where do we still need to work on? We can do that tomorrow. We will do a Wolves preview. Obviously, look, some of you guys that follow me on Instagram might have heard the news. And that is that I have just been confirmed as the second fighter in this lightweight Misfits tournament. So I made my Misfits debut the other day. Do you know how you know I made my Misfits debut? Because I haven't stopped fucking talking about it since. Made that the other day, fought a guy called Most Wanted, but now we are really leveling up in opposition. Most Wanted came from an MMA background, hadn't really boxed before, and now I'm getting in there with guys that are, won amateur tournaments over in America, have had a lot more fights than me, a lot more experience than me, younger than me, but I've been boxing a lot longer and had a lot more fights, and it's going to be a real tough test. I think it's a 4-man tournament over in America, I'm hearing, and I'm going to be the only Brit in it, flying the flag high for Chelsea. So let's hope that I fare a little bit better than our boys did tonight. But people, if you want to see that journey, if you want to see what happens behind the scenes on Misfits and all the training that I do to go into these fights, please subscribe to my boxing channel. I will link it in the description. People, if you haven't already, it's very important for me. Please like this video. It doesn't matter whether you're upset. I'm upset. But if you like the video, it helps me bang out this sort of content more often for you guys. And I'm smashing it all the time, man. Like, I'm literally putting out content every single day at the minute. I've been able to quit my full-time job and just literally pursue this YouTube thing and do the boxing as well. So really, really grateful from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys very much. Shit result tonight. Bad we lost, but it doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, I still think we're going to be all right, Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll try and get back to as many of you as I possibly can, and I will see you all in the next one.